So today in fashion news, we're finding out that eBay has bought Depop which is another, reseller app, reselling clothes again, which already we know that that's a shift that has been happening for a lot of years, whether it's vintage, reselling goods, we know like Rent the Runway. So there is a market for that again. And it's just another fashion power move and also a platform power move as far as like when you already know if you're selling online. Someone like myself, I have an e-commerce and retail and merchandising background. So it's just another shift in fashion and another shift in power. And it's bigger than another like technology shift as well. So basically so eBay acquired Depop from Etsy. And we know that Etsy is mainly like transactional. We also know that Etsy, like if you're selling on Etsy, like even someone selling digital planners on your website, it may sell for say $25, right? Like $19.99. But then once you put it on Etsy, you're also competing with other sellers that are promoting their digital products and they're selling it for cheaper, right? So you kind of like want to stay marketable as well as compete. So this is another big shift as far as like Depop. Again, it's an online um, selling app. So you can go on there and, look at the clothes again and see what it looks like on the website, see how you like it, and just see what the different prices are, what it's selling for, that kind of thing. And it makes sense in this world because a lot of platforms are merging together or being bought out. So you think about how when Depop was just on Etsy and then how eBay was able to kind of to step in and buy it for, I believe it's at like 1 point something billion. And it's just a reminder of, again, fashion, e-commerce, and also eBay wants to like also target another, like a younger crowd, just because we know like if you're selling on Etsy or like eBay, right? Normally they're kind of tailoring to like Gen Z. They want something quick that they can download, access, and something that can turn around quickly. So it's not really about like as far as something being expensive at like a different price or scale. You think about a company like Zara, right? Their price point is different. It might be like from $40 all the way to a dress or something or evening wear could be like 200, 250. That's still like mid price range for most people. But when you are selling to a younger demographic, and it just depends on, especially like in this climate, people might not be spending their money or using their money the way that they used to. And we have like big places, e-commerce places like Rent the Runway, and their fashion model is just making brands accessible to you for a discount. So if you couldn't have afforded, say, Helmut Lang outfit or, a pantsuit you thought was really cute, based on your packaging and your pricing, you can find outfits in that price range. And then, they're responsible for shipping it out to you in a reasonable amount of time and then sending it back. So I don't want to make this is not a Rent the Runway. I'm just using that to talk about the difference in scale and the difference in customer and what each app needs and what each app represents and what they're doing differently. So again, like I said, so the eBay merger is a very big thing. It's a very big deal. And it looks like I said they picked it up for like 1.2 billion from um, Etsy. Yeah, from Etsy, sorry. But yeah, because Etsy is like I sort of around my videos, like it's more transactional and you're more competing or lowering your prices based on what's comparable. Whereas if I'm selling an outfit, it depends on like my price is my price. And then if someone's trying to drew me down, I might not go for it, but I have the option to ship it or give it to someone that is paying exactly what I want to, what I feel that they should pay for it or what I feel like the market demands. So again, this is just another merger or another buy, either right now in this climate, either they're merging, companies are merging together, or they're buying out, right? Like the alpha is buying out something smaller, or you can be alpha as far as like scale, right? Because sometimes even like if you're selling online, you may, your website may just have, only your fan base of people that you can sell to. So like whoever's visiting your page, maybe your email list is only 100 people, maybe 10 people buy the dress. So you may merge with something like eBay, right? To just have your garments on there as well. And it's also about sprinkling, like having your uh, whatever you're selling all on different platforms at the same time. So you're not only utilizing like selling on Amazon, like having your store set up to Amazon, because then that's your piggybacking off of their email list. And then, right, and then you're also running the ads, you're running the campaigns to compete as well. So it's like having your store on Amazon, then you have some of your product on eBay, then you have some of it on Etsy, just depending on what you're selling. And each platform now is merging into like having, feeding different customers, but being also omni-channel, which is, my lane as well. And it's just showing the power and the dynamics of not only the market shifts and climates, it's also showing how we keep reinventing. If you need scale, right? One platform, what works for you when you're starting out your brand or your line may be fine for you to just feed your small email base, 150, 200 people, or maybe it's up to 500 people. But everyone that's on your email list is not buying your product, right? So it's like need, demand, taste level, and then what they like. And then, so that might work for you in one season. So then once your brand is in a better place, maybe, I know they say the first 5 years of a business, you're kind of still growing it. It's a little bit different when you are working in, corporate America, or working at a retail company or even a retail startup, because you still have access to their email base, their clients, and their like startup capital. So as a small business owner, you're mainly marketing more from business right to the consumer, right? So if someone is buying from your website, e-commerce, that's definitely B2C, as opposed to like business to business. That's a different model. So this is more about what's going on in the economy, what's making sense, keep tailoring your needs to depending on your target audience. Like I said, Depop is also targeting more like the Gen Zs. And that's, they're more like selling online, or they're advertising stuff, and also the ad revenue, the affiliate links. That's happening as well too. So it's really a power move and a shift in strategy. And it just shows how like everything is constantly evolving, and what worked in one season for you or your business does this, what works in ground A of your business, like that 0 to 5 years, depending on your company and how fast you scale, you definitely need a bigger platform to reach more people and more target audience. And then you also know that if you are selling on a platform that's bigger, like I said, like an Amazon, or like even a Pinterest, right? If you have the links to your Pinterest blog or whatever, you're also paying for ads, right? Because you want your ads it's giving you a chance to reach a higher and wider demographic, right? Because you get what you pay for. When you work at a company, there's a whole marketing budget that is tailored for like how many ads are we sending a day. And some companies, like if they're not sending ads, they're not really getting people, because you need like that next level of boost. Of course, you lay the foundation yourself, but then it comes a time, because I know even like, YouTube has ads, Pinterest definitely has ads for business. I know Facebook has ads, right? Because it's like there's a certain amount that you could do on your own, and then to bring your business to the next level, you have to invest in those ads. Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that to the platform, because like I said, this channel is also, I'm talking about fashion news, or just again showing how fashion is definitely a business, right? There's a whole like business of fashion. That's a whole business right now. They bring a lot of news as well as a also the news that I find on my own, just a little bit of insider secrets as well, what's happening. They're bringing more to the news, things that are like more commercial, and it's a bigger landscape. Instead of, we heard this is happening, right? It's kind of like a little bit more legit. That's why I chose to just add it to my channel. So like I said, think about, you know, what moves you need to make even in your business. You're starting out, when you're launching, what works in that season, and then your next season, or how you want your business plan to look in the second year. So the second year you might up your budget and be like, okay, I'm investing in ads this time and I'm seeing a difference, right? You also, like, the goal for everyone is to always to sell organically, but it just depends on how much you want to scale. And this is why I'm also an advocate on people still leveraging their jobs, right? You leverage your jobs because now your job can fund your business. So now you have the marketing budget, right? Because since you have a job, you can afford to give money to marketing. And you hear of people, they might have made 10,000 that month, uh, in their business, but it's like, how much of that did they really make? Was that profit? Because how much went to ads, right? So if they spent 2,000 on ads, then it didn't make 10,000, right? They made it more so like 8, and it just depends on what other write-offs that they have going on. Yeah. So this is more for like you to think strategically, also paying attention to like the company shifts, the market, what's going on the e-commerce space, what's going on commerce with business. Also recognize looking how banks are now merging with, banks having cafes installed. Everyone's following like the Starbucks model as well. Capital One has their cafe. Everyone now has their cafe because you want something to serve, one thing to serve different purposes now, which is omni-channel, right? Because you have different audiences across different platforms, but what works for one platform, you want it to also work for another platform. And how are you tailoring your business? How are you making it personal? How are you taking what's happening in the commercial world, corporate world, on the e-commerce stage, and applying it also to your brand, right? That's what this channel is about as well. Making it personal, finding out what should work commercially versus what works business to consumer, right? It's two totally different models. Yeah, so I wanted to just bring that to the forefront, talk about this for quickly. Excited to see how this really turns out, like how the scaling works, how the revenue goes, how the profits are going. So I'm going to be following that closely, and I will definitely do a follow-up video somewhere in the future. But again, if you are excited and you love fashion, you like to know what's going on in business, you like merchandising, buying, anything in the retail aspect, in the freelance world, this is your channel. So just like, subscribe, and I look forward to more content. Bye.